The night sky stretched endlessly over the vast plains of Omogwe, a land of ancient wisdom and unseen wonders. The stars shimmered like scattered embers, casting a silvery glow over the rolling hills and dense forests. In the heart of the valley stood a lone hut with thatched roofing, glowing faintly with an unearthly blue light. This was no ordinary light, it pulsed with a rhythm, as if alive, and its glow seemed to whisper secrets to those who dared to listen. In Omogwe, where the wind carried the voices of ancestors and the rivers hummed forgotten songs, there existed a light, unlike any other magic light, born of mystery and legend. A figure stepped out of the hut, his dark skin illuminated by the glow of the lantern in his hand. His name was Kunto, a humble craftsman with a spirit too restless for an ordinary life. His tunic, embroidered with intricate ankara patterns of gold and green, flowed gently in the night breeze. Kunto was no ordinary man. His hands, calloused from years of carving wood and shaping metal, held a quiet strength. But it was his heart, filled with curiosity and a longing for something greater, that set him apart. "They say the stars hold their own wisdom," Kunto murmured, his gaze fixed on the heavens. "But what if a star's light could be captured and made to shine forever? What secrets would it reveal?" The question lingered in the air unanswered. For years, Kunto had felt a pull towards something greater, a force he could not name. It was as if the land itself was calling to him, urging him to seek out the mysteries hidden within its depths. Tonight, that pull had grown stronger, and Kunto knew he could no longer ignore it. Deep within the forest, an ancient shrine stood in silence, hidden from the eyes of the world. Its walls were lined with intricate carvings of forgotten gods, their faces weathered by time but still radiating an aura of power. At the center of the shrine, a small, flickering blue flame hovered just above a stone pedestal. This was the eternal light, the heart of the magic that flowed through Omogwe. Long ago, the gods had gifted the people a flame that never died, a light that could reveal truth, heal wounds, and guide the lost. But with such power came danger, for if it fell into the wrong hands, darkness would rise, and the world would be plunged into chaos. Kunto's hands trembled as he reached toward the flame. It pulsed, responding to his touch, and a surge of energy coursed through his veins. His eyes widened as visions flooded his mind, glimpses of the past, whispers of the future, and a warning yet unseen. He saw the rise and fall of empires, the laughter of children, the tears of warriors, and the shadow of a great evil looming on the horizon. Some gifts were chosen, some burdens were given. Kunto had found the light, but the light had also found him. Beyond the valley, a dark force stirred. Shadows coiled around a cloaked figure, Obasayi, the exiled sorcerer. His piercing eyes burned with envy, and his robes, woven with darkened threads of forbidden magic, seemed to absorb the light around him. Once, Obasayi had been a guardian of the eternal light, but his hunger for power had corrupted him. Banished from Omogwe, he had vowed to return and claim what he believed was rightfully his. "The light does not belong to them," Obasayi hissed, his voice like the crackle of a dying fire. "It belongs to me. I will take it, and the world will bow before my power." A storm loomed over Omogwe, its dark clouds blotting out the stars. The village elders gathered in the great hall, their faces grave. The air was thick with tension as they spoke in hushed tones. "The light must be protected at all costs," Elder Jabari declared, his voice steady but filled with urgency. "Kunto, you are its keeper now, but beware, Obasayi will stop at nothing to claim it." Kunto clutched the glowing lantern to his chest, his heart pounding. Fear wrestled with determination. He was no warrior, no hero of legend, but he could not let the light fall into darkness. The fate of Omogwe, and perhaps the world, rested in his hands. The forest burned as Obasayi's shadowy minions descended upon the village. Their forms were twisted and grotesque, their eyes glowing with malevolence. Kunto stood at the center of the chaos, his lantern raised high. The blue light erupted, clashing against the sorcerer's darkness in a dazzling display of fire and magic. "You cannot stop me, boy," Obasayi roared, his voice echoing like thunder. "That light belongs to the gods, and I am beyond them." "This light is not for power," Kunto replied, his voice steady despite the fear coursing through him. It is for the people. The two forces collided in a blinding explosion, sending shockwaves through the valley. The villagers watched in awe as the darkness began to recede, driven back by the purity of the eternal light. The battle was won, but the light flickered weakly, its energy drained by the confrontation. Kunto knelt before the shrine, placing the lantern back on the stone pedestal. The blue flame grew brighter, renewing itself as if drawing strength from the earth itself. "You have done well, Kunto," Elder Jabari said, placing a hand on his shoulder. "The light lives on, and so do we." The wind whispered through the tall grass of Omogwe, carrying the echoes of Kunto's triumph. The villagers rebuilt their homes, their spirits alight with renewed hope. In the marketplace, laughter rang as traders exchanged goods, and the people celebrated the return of balance. But Kunto knew the peace would not last. Obasayi had been defeated, but not destroyed. The sorcerer's shadow lingered, a reminder that darkness could never be fully vanquished. As Kunto walked through the village, his eyes were drawn to the glowing lantern he once held. The elders approached him, their gazes filled with wisdom and gratitude. "The gods have chosen you, Kunto," Elder Jabari said. "But the light is never meant to belong to one alone. You must share its wisdom." Days turned into weeks, and Kunto embarked on a journey beyond Omogwe, carrying the knowledge of the light to those who lived in darkness. Through cities and distant lands, he shared his tale, teaching that power must be used for protection, not greed. He spoke of the eternal light, of its ability to heal and guide, and of the dangers that came with its misuse. But Obasayi's shadow was never far. Though weakened, the sorcerer lingered in the shadows, seeking a way to return. His whispers haunted the edges of forgotten paths, his hatred festering in the silence of exile. Kunto could feel his presence, a cold weight pressing against his soul. One night, as Kunto rested beneath an ancient baobab tree, a vision overtook him. The eternal light flickered, its glow dimming as if in warning. Kunto saw images of a second flame hidden deep within the mountains of Sambuca. This flame, the elders had once told him, was the twin of the eternal light, a source of equal power, but one that had been lost to time. The vision faded, leaving Kunto with a sense of urgency. He knew then that his journey was not yet over. The battle against darkness was never truly won, only held at bay by those willing to fight for the light. With renewed resolve, Kunto set his gaze upon the horizon. His path was clear. As long as he walked the earth, the magic light would shine, guiding the lost and protecting those in need. And though darkness might rise again, it would never truly conquer so long as there were those who believed in the power of the light. Kunto's journey to the mountains of Sambuca was fraught with challenges. The path was treacherous, winding through dense jungles and across raging rivers. Yet, he was not alone. Tunde, his steadfast companion, walked beside him, his sharp eyes ever watchful for danger. Tunde was a hunter by trade, his skills honed by years of tracking game through the wilds of Omogwe. His presence was a comfort to Kunto, a reminder that even in the face of uncertainty, he was not alone. Zubari, the healer, followed closely, her knowledge of herbs and ancient remedies proving invaluable. She carried a satchel filled with dried roots, leaves, and powders, each with its own unique properties. Zubari's calm demeanor and wisdom had earned her the respect of the villagers, and Kunto trusted her implicitly. Together, they formed an unlikely trio, bound by their shared purpose. The mountains of Sambuca loomed in the distance, their peaks shrouded in mist. Legends spoke of the second flame, guarded by spirits bound to ancient oaths. It was said that only those pure of heart could approach it, for the spirits tested all who sought its power. Kunto knew the journey would test not only his strength, but also his resolve. The trials ahead were not merely physical, they were spiritual, designed to strip away all pretenses and reveal the true nature of those who dared to seek the flame. As they climbed higher, the air grew thin, and the terrain became more unforgiving. Strange sounds echoed through the valley's whispers that seemed to come from the rocks themselves. One night, as they camped beneath a rocky outcrop, Kunto felt the presence of the spirits. They were watching, waiting. The fire crackled softly, casting flickering shadows on the stone walls. Kunto stared into the flames, his mind racing with thoughts of what lay ahead. "Do you think we're ready for this?" Kunto asked, breaking the silence. Tunde glanced up from sharpening his blade. Ready or not, we've come too far to turn back now. Zubari nodded, her eyes reflecting the firelight. The spirits will test us, but they will also guide us. Trust in the light, Kunto. It has chosen you for a reason. The next morning, they encountered the first trial. A massive chasm blocked their path, its depths lost in shadow. A narrow bridge, made of ancient stone, spanned the gap. The bridge looked fragile, its surface cracked and weathered by time. Kunto stepped onto it cautiously, his heart pounding. As he took his first step, the bridge began to crumble. Tunde grabbed his arm, pulling him back just in time. We must find another way, Zubari said, her voice calm but firm. The spirits are testing us. They spent hours searching for a path, finally discovering a hidden trail that led around the chasm. The trail was steep and overgrown, but it was passable. As they continued, Kunto felt the weight of the spirit's gaze grow heavier. The second trial came in the form of a dense fog that obscured their vision. Strange shapes moved within it, and whispers filled the air. The fog seemed alive, shifting and swirling around them. Do not listen, Tunde warned. The fog plays tricks on the mind. Kunto focused on the light within him, letting its glow guide them through the mist. The blue flame pulsed softly, its light cutting through the fog like a beacon. Zubari held onto Kunto's arm, her grip steady. Tunde walked ahead, his bow at the ready. The whispers grew louder, taunting them with half-formed words and fragmented memories. You are not worthy, a voice hissed. The flame will consume you. Kunto clenched his fists, pushing the doubts aside. I am worthy, he whispered. I will prove it. The fog lifted, revealing a clearing bathed in golden light. At its center stood a stone altar, and upon it rested the second flame. It burned with a soft golden light, its warmth radiating through the clearing. The air was thick with energy, and Kunto felt a sense of awe wash over him. As Kunto approached, the spirits appeared. They were ethereal beings, their forms shifting like smoke. Their eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and their voices echoed like the wind. Why do you seek the flame? One of them asked. I seek it to protect the light, Kunto replied, to ensure that its power is used for good, not greed. The spirits studied him, their gaze piercing. Many have sought the flame, another spirit said. Few have proven worthy. What makes you different? I am Kano, he says,